Welcome to another edition of POWA5. This interview is sponsored by Coochie's Barbershop, open all day. This is Dr. Slick, the host with the most, and inside the house tonight we have a special guest. He goes by the name of Michael Parris.
Yes.
Michael Parris, welcome to POWA5.
It's a pleasure for me for being here on this beautiful show called POWA5, Mr. Slick. What can I say? It's just a pleasure. I'm really feeling the vibe so far. So tell me what's going on, man.
I'm feeling it, yo. Long time, man.
Yeah, it is.
You've been doing it, yo.
It's been a while.
I've been doing it a long time. I've been doing it from my younger days, and you've been doing it from that top time until now. You know,
yes,
I'm saying, you know, it's nice to be interview a good artist like you on the platform.
Yeah, feeling humbled to be a part of what's going on and seeing that there are people that's listening and how to say being inspired by what I've been doing, because if it wasn't being that way, this wouldn't even be possible. So I'm very humble and just proud of the opportunity to sit in this chair along with artists that came before me in this chair and the ones that are gonna come after. Man, what can I say? I just hope I can answer some of these nice questions and have a good conversation and make this be a beautiful vibes. So with that being said,
yes, Mr. Michael Parris, I'm telling you. Mr. Parris, who are some of the artists that inspire you to become an artist?
Okay, well, some of the artists that has inspired me, I have to go back a little bit on some of these names. I have to start by saying I am inspired mostly by R&B music and reggae music. So growing up, it was always the R&B, and to a point where I became very good at creating R&B music myself. So the ones that inspired me at that point was like R. Kelly, Drew Hill, what's another good one? Genuine, Joe, Michael Jackson. He's inspired practically everybody on this planet who's into music, I would think. Another one would have been Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. But also I have to say, with my maturity of hearing these music over the years and knowing how to now create it, I have to say my biggest inspiration right now is myself, because I've taken a lot of time in meditating and
building your type of music.
Yeah, well said. That's a good way of putting it. And to a point now, I don't even have to look from the outside for inspiration. All the inspiration is now coming from within. So I feel very proud about that.
What genre of music would you say you do?
Well, when it comes to the genre of music that I do, I wouldn't like to really put myself in a box of a category, because being in this place called SXM St. Martin is not only what I would consider the melting pot for people, but it's also the melting pot for music. Yeah, that's one of those nicknames we got around here, the melting pot of the Caribbean for the people, you know.
For different.
Yeah, so we're also with those people bring their music. So I hear a lot of soca music, of course. The reggae, the dance hall, the hip hop, R&B. You got the zouk music, of course, on the French side of the island. So by hearing these music consistently year in, year out in my ears, it was just easy now for me to now transition and, you know, expressing those music myself. So with my voice as well as a singer, it became very easy to now sing those kind of music. So I wouldn't like to really put myself in a box. Once again, coming back to the question, I would say I'm good at specifically the soca music. I would say the R&B music and the reggae, but I've been into...
So how long would you say you've been singing professionally?
How long I've been singing professionally? I would say I started in 2000 and... Not 2000, actually 1995. That's when I really started music. I had about 4 or 5 years of doing vocal training with, I have to say, I'm very humbled to say, the music ambassador of music of SXM, Anastasia Lamini. If you got the opportunity to see this, I have to say thank you, because it was your knowledge that was able to really, you know, be my foundation. That was the foundation for that building block. And from then, I would say about 5 years after, so you could say about 2000, 1999, 2000, that's where going forward I was able to really be creating music.
So you could say professionally you've been doing music for 20-something years?
Yeah, 20-something years.
Okay,
easy.
with some of St. Martin best musicians.
Yes, and I have to also say, I have to give respect to the guys that goes by the name of Odyssey, because it was this group and the guy called X-Ray. It was being around X-Ray and his sons and some of the other artists that he would have around his home.
But I'm saying, name me 2 things that the public out there doesn't know about you.
All right, 2 things that the public don't know about me. Well, for one, a lot of people don't know that I used to practice a lot of martial arts when I was younger as well. And it used to be Petkaksi that. I used to also practice Muay Thai, also Taekwondo, pool, billiards, for those that don't know just by the word pool. And I became so good at it that I'm actually known as one of the best pool players on SXM. Rated #1 at the moment, but those things can fluctuate now and again. So at the moment, rated #1. So I'm very proud of that. So,
Michael Parris, where can we go to find your music and the fans out there to find your music on social media side?
well, I just try to keep things as simple as possible. So, which is Michael Parris. So for those that still don't know how to spell Michael, I mean, there are different ways of spelling the name. So mine is Michael and Parris, Parris. So Parris with 2 R's. Yeah. YouTube. Instagram. What else? Facebook. Yes, that's another one. Also, when I sign up my music, I try to put it on all the different musical platforms out there, like iTunes, Spotify. The list goes on. You get where I'm going with this. So you just type in my name, Michael Parris, and something should come up for sure. If you want to even Shazam my music, that's also a possibility at the moment. So, yes.
What inspiration do you have for the young artists?
No matter how tough things get out there, don't give up, because you're gonna lose time, and time is something you can never, you can't get back. Yeah. So it's gone. So that's one of the things I would like to say. Also, another thing I would like to say is try to learn as much as possible. Specifically as independent artists, you want to try to be as independent as long as possible for the royalties, whatever, all the rewards that comes with it. Once you put out good work, things is gonna come for you. But the more you have to give out there, nothing is wrong with sharing, but the more that's for you in your art is best. Try to read a lot more. Specifically for me, I like to use a dictionary, because that's a book that has so much words in there. You know, you can change up your vocabulary and your phrases as much as possible. Stopping you. So by having a bigger vocabulary changes everything. So I would say to the people out there.
Michael, what new project do you have for the fans coming up anytime soon before the holiday?
Well, project for the holidays, I have a lot of R&B music that I just have put down to just make sure I have something consistently coming out. So most likely in the next couple of weeks I'll put out a single again. Christmas right around the corner, so that'll have to come out as soon as possible. That's with the R&B, but right now I've been
working. When are we gonna get the album?
Yeah, I've been working on an album at the same time, consistently in and out of the studio. Being an independent artist, it's challenging and very expensive to put out an album, you know. So sometimes I would say, okay, this month I'll put in $400-500 in a song, and then next month I do the same thing. Because at the end of the day, you're doing that 9 to 5, and then having to go into the studio. Also, you're paying your bills. You know, like I said, independent artists, you still got your family to feed and all of this. So you can't really throw all the money into the music. So with that being said, it takes more time to create the album. So it's something I've been doing as a project for a little over a year, because things happen in between there, things, you know, in and out.
So give the fans
I'm almost there.
Give fans about next year.
Yes, actually within the next month or 2 max, this album should be done. But I want to bring it out for the first or second week in January.
The beginning of knowing that St. Martin has so much talent, a depth of talent, and we've been doing music on an international scale for a while now, and so much artists in St. Martin. Why don't you feel St. Martin is more advanced toward the global music scene?
Well, I would say, I hate to say it, but I still think I should say it. Government has a lot to play with that, where they don't create enough free shows for people to come and see the artist, because even if someone just wants to put on a show, just say for example you want to put on a show for the locals, it's gonna cost. You're gonna have to, whatever you want to call it, create things to make that happen. It will cost, and those things can be a little costly. So probably I would say government should create budgets around maybe 4 or 5 shows around the year that artists can just do something like that, you know. And I feel by certain interviews that I've heard on the radio that they're trying to make things happen, but unfortunately it's not going as fast as I think it should be. So those are the things that we get as well as local artists. Our DJs don't really have the confidence in the music, but they have some DJs out there that they don't care who you are, they play your music, but just it's not enough to just keep that buzz going year in, year out. Also another thing I would say, the people as well. Unfortunately, my SLXM people more gravitate towards the outside artists.
The international music.
Yeah, the international music. And it sucks because there is a lot of talent here on this island. Talent that could compete with the best of the best on stage. Matter of fact, I had opened for one of the international artists a couple years ago. I'd rather not call the names, but I had to do sound check. And when this guy saw how good my sound check was, he told the promoters that, yo, you see that guy there? Scratch you from the list. If I going on after he could be a problem for me. So I rather not have nobody that's gonna make my show look a little, you know, messed up. So my point of saying that is, those are the kind of things. I'm sure there's others that can do such, bring such shivers into, you know, international artists. We can compete with the best. That's my point I'm trying to bring across. But the confidence between the people, the government, and the DJs. I hope by just listening to what I'm saying, it will just, how to say it, create some kind of awareness more inside of their consciousness, and say, you know what, I'm going to look into more artists and try to get these DJs to promote. Even if it's one person you know that don't get a lot of shine, you tell the DJs them to push that person, or you go to the radio station and promote that specific song. And those are the little things that's going to upgrade it's going to bring that music up, man. So I hope by saying that,
do you think the artists in general is doing as much as they should to put themselves on the front line?
And what I'd like to add is, it's a good question, if the artist is doing enough for themselves. I would have to say for some, they are doing enough for themselves, but for the majority, I would say no. And I would think the reason that is because of finance. If they would be able to get a better budget from the promoters, as some would think, if the promoters could get sponsors from these different companies to pay these international,
Sponsor the younger artists.
Yeah, you could sponsor the younger artists as well. Give them $2,000-$3,000, and I guarantee you, with that $2,000-$3,000, the artist can now create a video clip that they could go on social media and just keep that buzz on.
In that same show.
Yeah, and sometimes if with that $3,000, that artist now can get marketing companies to invest in it, like to invest in a marketing company and hit worldwide.
As a St. Martiner, you don't know. I want you to tell the people out there in the global world what you love about St. Martin doing music on the island.
What I love about St. Martin, first of all, it's summer all year round. You can't hate that. You know, some people, they leave from their cool place to come here. And also another thing what I like about this country is there's a lot of people who's from certain countries that in their countries they will be fighting with each other, big war. But when they reach right here in St. Martin, there's neighbors, your house and my house right here next to each other. And they live in peace, they humble them out and thing. They know you from that place, but they ain't even troubling you. But in another country, they'll be fighting. So that's another thing I love about this place. And the music that they come with, I would have never heard it if they didn't come here with their vibes. It's a place that welcomes everyone, you know?
It's a melting pot.
Yeah, melting pot, like I said.
Swaliga people.
Melting pot of people and music. So because of that, I believe that it's St. Martin that made me who I am. By hearing all this music, I'm able to create different genres of music. Big up to the one they call The Dreamer. That's one of those DJs that push the music big time. The radio stations now, I have to admit, maybe about 5-6 years ago, the radio stations wasn't pushing a lot of the local music, but now I've seen that trend change. So big up to the radio stations again on that one. Also, there's a promoter, my promoter, called the Ghost Promoter. Respect to the Ghost Promoter.
Any
Patrice,
siblings?
yeah.
Any siblings?
Yes.
Mom, dad, sister, brother?
Siblings. I have actually a brother and sister that's into music as well. My brother, he loves calypso music. He lives on the island of Nevis though, so not here, but every year he's into the Culturama. He tries to create a lot of conscious music with, as I said, the calypso. My sister, she's a singer as well. Right now she does nothing else but create music, sing music. She sings more like covers, sing in restaurants. Sometimes I take the opportunity and sing with my sister in restaurants, and also that helps me with my social media following, and when I'm done singing, tell people where they can find my music. So it's a good vibe. With her, is someone to actually look out for. Her name is Michelle Parris. You'll be hearing a lot about that name in the near future. We're working on a couple singles with her, and in a few weeks, her first single will be out. But for those that's living on the island of St. Martin, she's around. She sings in a lot of different restaurants. So a lot of top restaurants right now, she's there. So mom, dad, I'd like to say respect to my mother. That's the person that's had my back from day one. Her name is Sandrine Parris. That's my rock stone, man. How to put it? And actually there's some songs that I'm working on right now, and one of them is dedicated to my mother. So for the album that's coming out soon, you'll hear what that song's about and the hard background my mother had coming up. And because of that background as well, it makes me who I am. Yeah, it gives me that depth of knowledge. I like that way of phrasing it. Yeah. So big up to that. And also one more thing I'd like to say, big up to the pool players and big up to the people in my neighborhood, the Middle Region people, man. Y'all have me from day one.
Tonight self, I want you to give St. Martin and the rest of the world a piece of your live action performing on POWA5.
I'm searching for a girl who's got my dream personality. Someone who's fun, loving, funny. This is what God would set for me. Yeah. But I know that things don't always be what you want them to be. Oh yeah. So this is why I'm out here asking, can you lady be the girl for me? So could you be my baby? Could you be the girl that I need? Could you be my lady? Could you be the girl for tomorrow? Would you be my only? Could you spend a lifetime with me? 'Cause all I'm saying, this is what I need. And all that I'm asking is, could you be that lady?
Yes,
Think you could be that lady? You know how to find me, Michael Parris on social media. Boom. All right. I'd also like to say to the Dreamer for bringing me onto this show called the POWA5. Respect to you. Also to you, Mr. Slick, Dr. Slick. Thank you for this great interview. Your questions was a little challenging, but I somehow survived it. I really appreciate those questions, and I think the people of the world appreciate hearing those questions too. So with that being said, I highly appreciate POWA5 being in existence. I so hope that the artist that comes after just brings more of what I have and so much more, you know. The community of St. Martin really needs this, and for me that wasn't even aware of POWA5 and seeing it on the social media, and I was really captivated, and I was like, wow, this show is actually doing something really big, and I see the value of it. I so hope that it doesn't just die out no time soon, and I honestly don't think so, because I really was feeling it when I was seeing it on social media, and I know there's others. If I could feel it, others are feeling it too, so know that your work is valuable. POWA5, I'm loving it. The world is loving it. It only could go further.
Yes, thanks to Michael Parris for showing up for the interview. Beautiful interview. I enjoy every moment of it. One of St. Martin, real talent. There's so much of their depth of talent, but one of St. Martin, real talent was here. I enjoyed the interview. What I'm saying, big shout out to my main sponsor, Barbershop. Next door you have Danisa Bar and Restaurant. And big shout out to Jamtillion and Wheel, located in Simpson Bay, open for dinner. I'm telling you. And big shout out to A&A Fashion. They make me look good. POWA5, keep on doing it. This is Dr. Slick, Stream Boss. Stream it globally on POWA5.